Thank you, Dix, and a warm welcome to the Horne family and their many friends here tonight to celebrate a giant of the tourism and hospitality industry. Tonight's guest list, you heard from Chris and so many others, including a range of people who have travelled from interstate, reflects Ian's remarkable journey and the esteem with which he and his family are held throughout the land. Ian was born in Brisbane, the son of a reverend who grew up to become a trained mechanic. Ian's unlikely path took him from tinkering under the hood of a Ford XE Falcon to joining the AHA in the weeks when Australia was basking in the glory of winning the America's Cup. He commenced in a groundbreaking training role before heading up our IR team. It was a time when John Bannon was Premier. Adelaide didn't have a casino or a convention centre, had never heard of the Grand Prix, and the Crows were just a bunch of trumped up SNFL teams that couldn't beat Port Adelaide. In 1986, our departing AHA boss, the legendary Bill Spur, came up with a thought bubble, strongly supported by the Liquor Trades Union, no less, that a 29-year-old Ian Horne should be promoted to AHA CEO. Ian held the position for 12 years, cementing his reputation, but unfortunately catching the eye of others. This was the time of Ian's first major AHA payout, when he jumped ship to join the Motor Trades Association. During his 7-year sabbatical, the trained mechanic discovered car yard owners, carburettors and petrol pumps were no match for publicans, pints, schnitzels and glitzy hotel lobbies. So, in 2005, waiting just long enough for the Motor Trades Association to generously pay for him to complete his MBA, Ian returned home and for the past 18 years has emerged as one of the most formidable business figures in South Australia. You heard the list here tonight. Ian has always maintained strong relationships with premiers, senior cabinet ministers, key advisors and regulators, as well as their counterparts on the other side of politics, to allow him to change policy direction in this state like few others could hope to from outside of the Parliament. His views and opinions are proactively sought by even the most hardened politicians. And as we all know, if Ian's view is not sought, he'll just give it to you anyway. Many here tonight would have fallen victim to Ian's charm and disarm offensive that can often be ruthless, but always effective. With Ian, you do sometimes feel like you're in an episode of Yes Minister. Like the way he displays a rare talent to be totally flexible and adapt to a developing situation. For example, it was the late 1980s and the Adelaide Casino launched a campaign to introduce poker machines into their venues. The licensed club had already seen the same opportunity. Ian was horrified. His diatribe on the evils of these new one-aimed bandits from across the border would have left Nick Xenophon or Tim Costello trembling in the shade. But a good leader remains open-minded. And there was a whisper into Ian's ear that maybe pubs too could strive for a slice of the action. After a period of dignified silence, Ian reviewed his stance and became relentless in his prosecution for the Yes case. Ian was determined not to lose a battle this big, and he did have a fair incentive to succeed. My father was AHA president at the time and was not a man to tiptoe around people's feelings. Given the AHA had launched a winner-takes-all approach, Dad had informed Ian that either we win or they'll be both forced to resign. Ian's response, "Piss off, Fred, you can, I'm going nowhere." Ian was in the stalls of Parliament House on the morning of Friday, May 7, 1992, when after a marathon all-night sitting, the Liberals Rob Lucas and Diana Laidlaw sided with all ALP upper house members for a result in our favour, 10 votes to 9. The House of Assembly waited all night for the bill to return, and when it did, it was approved at 8 a.m. The best part of the all-nighter was when Parliament was suspended at 8:30 in the morning. MPs and MLCs flooded across North Terrace for a liquid breakfast at the Strathmore. Ian was only 38 years of age, but had stamped himself as a force to be reckoned with, driving the biggest change to the way South Australian pubs operated since the end of 6 o'clock closing in 1967. Now, not everyone may be in love with the idea of pokies at the pub. To Ian's credit, he developed the nation's foremost industry-led harm minimisation model that introduced important balances and forestalled more draconian legislation. That included the establishment of gaming care, the AHA self-funded early intervention agency that has taken staff training and harm minimisation measures to a nationwide leading model. Facial recognition has proven to be a brilliantly effective response to problem gamblers. When Ian suggested the idea to me back in 2019, my immediate response was, "You've got to be kidding, Ian. High-tech cameras in our customers' faces?" Now, I've got to share with you some AHA dirty laundry on how the President-CEO relationship works. When the hapless President formulates a strategy that Ian disapproves of, he will firstly wholeheartedly agree with you, sing your praises, then just go off and do it his own way regardless. Yes, Minister. So again, Ian got his own way, and now every jurisdiction in the country is talking to Ian about replicating that technology in their own states. Furthermore, Ian established our Women in Hotels program, providing female leaders in our industry with networking and mentoring opportunities, and was instrumental in the creation of our hospitality group training scheme. So many of the country's finest chefs came through that institution Ian pioneered. During the 2 dark years of COVID, with no playbook to call upon, Ian's political acumen was on full display. At that troubled time, Ian's greatest asset, his ability to assemble an outstanding team around him, rose to the fore. We have members here today whose survival during that period is owed to Ian's untiring efforts. And as he drifts into AHA oblivion, Ian's final coup was to play a pivotal role to amalgamate our national accommodation arm with Accommodation Australia. That landmark tourism deal takes effect in 3 weeks. My task tonight is to praise Caesar. I understand another speaker may be lurking in the shadows, keen to bury the bloke, the old Ian Horne. Not today's, I need to get in my daily 10,000 steps before 6 a.m. man. The original Ian Horne viewed 10,000 steps more as an annual target. None of this, alcohol shall not touch my lips. None of this, holier than thou, reformed smoker swagger. The original Ian Horne was a generously proportioned man. As his stature as a lobbyist grew, so did his pant size. He truly believed that drinking alcohol was part of his job description, supporting our corporate partners, and he was always out to ensure he received an excellent performance appraisal. And Ian and cigarettes. When the devil darts were banned in offices, Ian held many famous meetings, standing with one foot in his office and the rest of his body on the balcony, smoking furiously, only occasionally poking his head back inside the office to offer a comment. Now, the Horne reign is not solely characterised by glittering success. Under Ian Horne, we lost the ubiquitous topless barmaid. Ian really took that one personally. The reformed smoker was a guilty party who cost our customers their 161-year right to enjoy a smoke at the bar. Our CEO was asleep at the wheel when we were burdened with 2 part-day public holidays each year. Ian was totally outsmarted by a young shoppies union leader. I'm sure nothing ever came of him. Ian was charged with the responsibility of protecting our trading conditions, only to see first licensed clubs and now restaurants granted open trading right under his nose. Ian defends himself valiantly, claiming he was on annual leave for each of those events. All I'd say, Ian, it's a good thing Warren Treadwell wasn't on the AHA board. You'd have been sacked a long time ago. Thankfully, to save him from further embarrassment, Ian enjoyed a 20-year partnership with our immediate past president, Peter Hurley. They were a formidable combination. Ian the spear carrier, Peter happy to skewer the target. 2 local skirmishes come to mind as example of Peter and Ian's collective strategic brilliance and their ability to drive outcomes. In 2013, someone decided that selling wine in supermarkets would be a good idea for South Australians. Immediately, Ian and Peter mobilised the troops and their persuasive lobbying saw political and public opinion quickly change. Those who thought it was a positive policy quickly discovered it wasn't. The then Attorney General, John Rao, is still reeling from the AHA campaign to this day, declaring he doesn't need reminding pubs don't sell cheese slices. That victory gave our hoteliers 10 years of certainty, and the compelling arguments of the day still hold true today. And none of us need reminding of the AHA's high-profile stance in the 2018 state election. If South Australia had voted for the chaos of a Xenophon-controlled parliament, our sector would have suffered through its darkest hour. Most notable was the courage Ian demonstrated in taking on such a powerful force, knowing the inevitable flat that would come his way. Through Ian's impressive network, we gained intelligence several weeks ahead of a public announcement that Xenophon would be quitting the Federal Senate to run for state parliament. And his ambitions were not limited to that of a humble backbencher. Immediately, Ian put on the war paint. His first strategic masterstroke was to engage a fully independent study of the economic and social value of our sector. A study with such credibility it could not be disputed by those who wished us harm. The electorate learned that 26,250 employees, a $4 billion annual contribution to the state's economy, and $10 million annual charity and community donations were suddenly going to be placed all at risk. As is his habit, Ian assembled the best people around him. But the best people don't come cheap. Those sitting here tonight wearing your expensive suits know exactly who you are. We took a collective gasp when we learnt the cost of running a fully effective campaign. But Peter Hurley, in one sentence, changed the course of that entire election. He stated, "There is no point at the end of this in the AHA having plenty of money in its account and our members being left with none in theirs." Now, hearing he had an open chequebook, Ian's eyes lit up just like one of those poker machines, and away he went. Ian became the Ashley Ambo of the 2018 campaign. Our catch cry, "My job is not a stunt," emerged as the most significant slogan of that election. Xenophon went from potential premier to not even winning his own seat. There was to be no industry darkest hour. It was Ian Horne who enjoyed his finest hour. And aren't we all grateful he did? Ian's Community Financial Management Association has ensured that for the next big fight, whenever and whatever it is, the AHA is comfortably positioned to combat it. And anyone who can look after the association's finances so capably will be adept to looking after their own. To that end, Ian has not been shy to do a bit of moonlighting. Whilst on the AHA payroll, he's been a board member of the SA Tourism Commission, Adelaide Venue Management, Business Events Adelaide, Host Plus, and the Grand Prix Special Events Committee, impressively topping up his super at every turn at the expense of the taxpayer. Recognition for Ian has not been limited to our shores. In 1994, Ian manoeuvred himself to be the keynote presenter at the World Gaming Conference in Las Vegas. Never get away with Ian and a decent junket. Our members do owe Ian a great debt of gratitude for the manner he has advocated on their behalf. It has always been the AHA first. Ian has been at the centre of some of this state's most divisive debates, but it speaks volumes of the man that he leaves his position with the full respect of both friends and adversaries. Jay Weatherill, whilst Premier, stated, "Ian Horne is the best and most trustworthy political lobbyist in this state." As Ian calls last drinks on his AHA career, to many, he has been a mentor and a great friend. Working alongside Ian has been a privilege. His wisdom and experience has been invaluable, and no doubt I'll be one of many who will continue to seek his counsel. Ian, thank you for your selfless dedication, your protection of our industry, and most importantly, your friendship. Our members will always be grateful for the strong, vibrant and respected organisation that is your enduring legacy. Enjoy your night.